right, you guys. So my name is Kate with Scott Leroy Marketing. Today I am going to be going over direct mailers with you. So with that being said, we're going to take a look at creating a postcard within the Command platform. Um, we're primarily going to look at the templates that Command already offers, but if we have time, I'll also show you guys how to utilize one of the designs templates and add that to a direct mailer. So we'll try to take a look at both of those, but we'll also go through the full process of how to get that direct mailer ready to go, setting up your targeting, and sending that out to whoever you're looking to target. So let's jump in and take a look. So the first thing we want to do, of course, is be logged into the Command platform. So if you are not familiar, that is agent.kw.com. I'll drop that in the chat. And you'll log in with that username and password. Now, recently, after family reunion, you may have to re-verify your email address in order to log in. If you're running into any issues with verifying that email, we usually recommend reaching out to your Market Center staff. They can adjust that recovery email, make sure it's correct, so that you're able to gain access to Command. But let's go ahead and jump in. So for today's class, the very first thing that we want to take a look at is going to be our marketing profile. So we're going to click on our drop down next to our name in the very top right corner. From there, we want to navigate down to the settings. Once that loads, we want to click on Connect Settings in the left-hand menu and Marketing Profile. Now, the reason we want to take a look at this first is that some of this information that is within your marketing profile is going to pull into the direct mailer campaigns. So making sure it's up to date before you get started, if you haven't checked that recently, might be important for you to just double check. So the first thing is you want to make sure it is turned on. You've got a little green button right here. Now, beyond that, you want to make sure anything that has a red asterisk is completed and has information. It won't allow you to save the marketing profile if you're missing anything that is required. So for example, your photo, it is recommended for 360 by 360. That makes sure that it's not distorted when you're using it on different marketing. It's also going to make sure your head is not stretched out, chopped off, your chin is not missing, things like that. So making sure you have a good headshot there. Sometimes super zoomed in photos will cause issues with, kind of chopping off your head and things like that. So definitely make sure you check out your photo, make sure it is good size and that it looks appropriate in that 360 by 360 box. Next is your team logo. Not necessarily something that's going to pull from today, but it does pull to some of the marketing in Command. So even if you are not on a team, we do strongly encourage you to have some type of photo here, whether that be your headshot again. You can also use a generic KW logo if you're not on a team. Or if you've branded yourself as an individual agent, that is a great option as well to put that logo here. Again, recommended 360 by 360. However, this one will most likely adjust when it's being used on different marketing. For whatever reason, this one and the Market Center logo we're going to take a look at, those kind of resize appropriately. But if you want to make sure they all appear the same in all of the places, it is encouraged to make sure they're all 360 by 360. Now, next we have some of your generic information. So name, license number, not required, but super important to include. If you have a job title that you'd like to include, a slogan, any designation or credentials. If you would like to identify as military affiliation, those can be included here. Your bio will be included. Phone numbers, there they are. Email, whichever email you prefer. And then your website. If this is a KW website, we just like to recommend make sure you're not including a www. That will cause your website to fail when someone is accessing it. And you'll just want to make sure it's that full URL. If you're not sure what that is, you can go to your website. Copy this here. We'll just go to the direct website. You can put that into the search bar. Whoops. Hit Control F instead of Control V. And once we do that, to grab your full URL, you will just click in this box, copy, and that will give you that entire, if I could find the correct box, that will give you that entire URL. Now down below, we have market center information. This should be specific to your market center. If you're not familiar with where to locate your market center specific logos, you can click KW Connect right here in the marketing profile, and it will redirect you to search for those in the search bar here. So we'll just search one, and then you can download the entire folder with all of the available logos. Market center details over here on the right. If you're an office that requires specific compliance, whether that be legal footer text, links, or images, they can all be added here. If you'd like to include your social media, again, full URL for those. So definitely if you're on a desktop, it's easy to just navigate to your public facing profile and grab those URLs. And then lastly, Google Analytics, if that is something you are interested in applying to your website. Once we're all done here, you just want to make sure you hit save. It will update all of those details for you. Now, if you joined us a little bit late, we're just going over the marketing profile. Again, this information, some of it will pull to the templates today in the designs for the direct mailers. So super important to just make sure they're up to date. We're navigating back to our home page now. And from here, we want to head into campaigns. Campaigns looks kind of like a megaphone here. If you're not familiar with these applets on the left-hand side, though, you can hover over them and it will tell you what each one is. You can also hit this red and white KW to expand that menu bar and view all of those. Again, we're headed into campaigns today, so we're going to click that. I hit this red and white KW to close that up. This is our campaigns dashboard. So this is going to show you all of the different types of campaigns. For today's class, though, we're going to focus on this direct mailer. Now in this dashboard, it's going to give you, we'll give it a second to load actually. Taking a second here. There we go. Now once we're in the direct mailer dashboard, we're not. Bear with it just a second. It's thinking really hard today. I'm going to try to refresh really quick just to see if that, nope. Okay. Well, we're going to try to keep going along. They may be making some updates. I know we just got back from family reunion, so there it goes. Okay. You never know. Up here at the top in this banner, we have how many month-to-date digital mailer or direct mailers we have sent out. We have how many recipients that's been sent to, leads, and dollar amount spent. Now we can search for direct mailers in the search bar here. We can also sort these to show us mailed direct mailers, drafted, archived, and all. Probably shouldn't click that because now it's trying to load again. We can also select if we want to view these direct mailers based on a specific goal that we set for that postcard. So when creating a direct mailer, you are going to select a specific goal. So what is the purpose of your mailer? Are you advertising a listing, attracting talent? Is it event awareness? You'll select that goal. You can also filter to see previously sent cards that you've used. Now down below we have our overview. This is going to give you the name of the postcard. This is internal. This is not displayed anywhere on the postcard when it's sent out. So this is just for you to remember what that was that you created. You'll have a preview of the image of the postcard. The status, so if it was mailed, drafted, I don't think we have any that are not drafted. Sent, date mailed, any leads, recipients. Again, you'll see the goal here. And then we have 3 dots to edit, duplicate, or archive this specific mailer. Now, the next thing we want to do is we want to go ahead and start creating ours. So we're going to just click Create Campaign in the top right corner. And it's going to ask us what type of campaign we're creating. Even though we're under direct mailer, we still need to select that as our type. We will select a name. Again, this is internal. Nobody but you is going to see this, so name it something you will remember. And for this first one we're going to do advertise a listing. Now, once we have that selected, we're going to just do create campaign. Okay, we'll keep going. Hopefully it works today. Whoop. Well, you guys, I'm hoping we're going to be able to get through class. Try this again. You never know when something is just not going to work. Oh no. I wonder if it'll let us just keep going. Let's give it a shot. So we can search by property address, MLS number, and listing agent. Now, once you have selected what you're searching by, you can also search by the status of the property, so active, pending, etc. You can also see that you only want to show your listings or you want to view all available listings. So I'm going to do all because I don't have any. And then we're just going to grab the one right here. We're going to hit select. So far, so good. Now, once we do that, you'll see we have our overview here. This is just going to cover the name and the goal again. Those can still be adjusted. We can switch the listing. If we selected the incorrect one, we can still hit change listing. Now, our next thing that we need to complete is the content. So from there, we want to hit that drop down. There's a couple of options. You have the default templates provided by Keller Williams. You also have the ability to upload your own custom template. Now for this first postcard we're going to take a look at, we are going to use the KW provided templates, and then we'll come back and take a look at the custom. Now with the provided templates from KW, you have a few options. You have a compact 4x6, a default 6x9, and then you have two 6x11s, one they're referring to as modern and one as contemporary. Now I will come back and show you these, but first I want to get a photo added because it allows us to see the differences in those postcards just a little bit clearer. So next we have listing details. Since we pulled a specific listing, it should pull all of that information. You just want to confirm everything is correct, and select your listing status. So we're going to go with just listed. As you'll see, when I select that, it populates on the right. Now you're not required to include this. So if you do not want to put just listed or sold, you can leave this blank. As you can see, it removes it, and this is not a required field. Now down below, we have our description. All of this is pulling directly from the MLS. As you can see, it's a little bit too long for our postcard, and currently that description is appearing on the back of the postcard. So we're just going to trim this down to make it sure that it fits. We got to be under that 350 character. Now next, we want to select a listing photo. Now, it should allow us to view listing photos and pull those in. However, I've seen a little bit of an issue with it lately, so as long as it's your listing, you should be able to go ahead and grab that photo and use it. I'm just going to save one really quickly. Now, you will always see this low resolution. Anytime it's pulling listing photos from the MLS, you will see that. The reason for that being is that these listings and the images are going from the MLS to the KWLS and the KWLS into this specific editor. So in all of that transition, they do lose a little bit of their quality. However, we've not seen it make too much of an impact. But if you are concerned about that, you can definitely just upload your own photo, which I'm going to go ahead and do really quickly. So we're just going to do upload image, browse, and I'm going to grab that top one from my computer. Now, as you can see, if we scroll back up to our preview and switch to the front, it's showing that right there on the front now. Now, if we want to take a look at these different templates, we can kind of click through them now. As you can see, much easier to see when we have a design. You wouldn't quite see that fade if we didn't have a picture there yet. This one is going to cut it off on the side. And then lastly, we have this one. So for this specific image, since it has that MLS thing on the side, I'm going to go ahead and go with this one. I think it still shows the whole photo. These are totally up to you when you're picking a postcard. Now you can also view the backs as you're doing this. However, the backs don't change quite as much. So just keep that in mind. It's mostly the front. The backs will change a little bit, and we can kind of just take a quick look at those. They do change, but it's not quite as much as the front. All right. Now moving along, this is where that marketing profile came into play. So as you can see, it's pulling our agent photo, our agent information, all of that's pulling from the marketing profile that we took a look at the beginning of class. Now with the phone number, you simply want to click into that box and hit the space bar on your keyboard to make sure that populates correctly. And once we have everything in here, all of our information on the property is correct, our information, we can go ahead and hit save. It looks like it's giving me another low resolution warning. It's probably because I saved it from the website. They're just saying that they're not responsible for low quality cards. However, when we take a look at this on a bigger scale, you'll see it looks pretty good. But that is your own discretion if you want to grab a higher resolution photo. Now we have our little green check mark for content. The next thing we want to do is market center information. Again, pulling these details from your market center profile. I'm sorry, your marketing profile. So logo, names, all that good stuff. You will want to grab the zip code. It does not pull that. I'm just going to grab it from in here. Not 100% if it's the same, but we're going to go with it. It will let you know if the address looks incorrect, and you can adjust that. Now this is green as well. Now our next one is green, but we still want to take a look at these next two because we haven't viewed them just yet. So targeting, this is going to identify the central location that we are targeting postcards to send out to. So in this case, it's using the listing address as my central location where I'm going to target other people to send postcards to. Now, once we go into configured targeting, you'll kind of see how it centralizes around this location, and we can select our other houses to send this to. You also have the ability to send this to your database. We'll take a look at that one on our next postcard, so we'll come back to that. I'm going to go ahead and hit save. Now, next is just your budget. So how many postcards are you looking to send? How much money are you looking to spend? And then also in some cases, you'll have two different options for postage. And you'll see those there. Now, one last thing I want to show you guys before we jump into configure our targeting is this little QR code option down here. Now, this is only available when you are using the default templates. If you are creating your own, this button will not be available. If you're uploading your own custom template, you would want to add that QR code directly to your postcard template that you're creating and upload it with that QR code. So just keep that in mind. This will only appear when you're using the KW provided ones. Now, with that being said, we can turn on that QR tracking code. And when we switch to the back of the postcard, as soon as we select a landing page, it's going to populate a QR code on our postcard here. So we'll go ahead and select one. I'm just going to send them directly to our agent website. But you could have a specific landing page created for this property that you may want to redirect them to. If you want to have them download your app, wherever you would like them to be sent to. Now with direct mailers, it does not provide you with a list of contact names. It will not provide you with the addresses that you're sending these to. There's no way to export those addresses or names. So in my opinion, this is the easiest way to add something to your card to help you with capturing that lead. Because if they are to scan that QR code and create an account on your website or app, you're going to be notified of those interactions. So great way to try to capture those leads through your postcard. Now the next thing we want to do, we have our QR code. It's appearing up here in the image. We just want to hit configure targeting. Are you sure you want to create this campaign? Yes. And then we'll give it a second to think. All right. So now the fun part. Now we get to determine who we want to send this postcard to. So as you can see, my central location is red. That is the property address. And it is showing me the available homes nearby that I can send this to. Now currently, that's 200 homes. It's selecting both single family and multifamily homes. I can change that if I want to. As I switch that, you'll see that my map is going to change. You'll also see that some of these dots have a number on them now. That's identifying that that specific dot has 29 units. Okay, so this is sending it to 29 people within that specific dot. Same for this one here. We've got 35 units. Now, if you see one on here that you don't want to send to, you can just click that little remove. You'll see I'm still able to come here and restore it. I'm not sure why it went from 2 to 4, but anyways, you can get very specific with who you want to send your postcards to. I'm going to send this back to all. And you can also determine how many bedrooms we want to send this to, square footage. As I'm selecting these and narrowing down my targeting of who's going to receive these, my map is going to change as I do that. Year the house was built. We can do the last time it was sold. As you can see, my map continues to expand. Last sold for. And then those are the end of our specific selections that we can change for targeting. You can then also still change your mailing. Now, one last thing I want to show you, I'm going to kind of come back out of here. And I'm going to reset these. Let's say instead of targeting just this specific area, let's say we had a specific neighborhood in mind that we wanted to target. We can use these options up here to draw on the map and to mail people in those specific areas. So let's say we want to target this area here instead. Give it a second to think. So this is a great option if you're looking to farm specific neighborhoods, or you know that there's a lot of people moving from this neighborhood to that neighborhood. You'll see that it changes the target of homes, but you can always readjust that. So if we are looking to obviously mail that many people, that's great, but I wasn't looking to mail that many. So as I adjust that, it's narrowing that down. So this is great option for, like I said, farming. If you're wanting to farm in a specific neighborhood or area, using that would be a great option. I'm going to reset that again. And now that we have, I'm going to leave it what it is, and we're going to go to the next page. But now that we have our targeting set up, we have the area we'd like to send those cards to. We have our mailing selected. Again, we can change that if we want to. It does increase the price. There is one last option on here that if you want to receive a copy of the postcard, you can send a copy of that to yourself by checking that. As you can see, our price does increase when we're sending one to ourselves. And that will send that postcard to your market center office for you to receive. So there's no way to adjust that address. It's going to send to that market center. But if you want a copy, that is the easiest way to do it. Now from here, we want to hit next. And this is where we can view our postcard on a larger scale and go ahead and process payment. So if we want to take a closer look at this, my button, there it is. It hadn't loaded yet. So we can view this a little bit better. As you can see, generally that quality looks pretty good. So I haven't seen one not turn out very good when I'm looking at these, but we can view both of those pages, make sure everything is good to go, and then we can go through all of our order information. So we have our order summary here. We have how many postcards and the size that we're ordering and how much per postcard. Then we have our total. The first class postage is included in that cost. There is no middleman here. You do not have to get these, postage them, send them to the mail, to the post office, anything like this. They will automatically mail out for you. So no middle work. You have your order total, and then we have your processing information. So same day processing. If you submit your order before 3 p.m. on a business day, your mailers are going to go into production at a fulfillment center that is closest to the targeted area. The USPS distribution, your cards are going to go into the mail system within 2 business days of that. And then estimated delivery, your mailers are estimated to arrive in the mailboxes of the targeted recipients within 4 to 6 business days. Once your order is submitted and paid, you're going to get a more accurate estimation of when those will be delivered. So you will get that as well. And then lastly, you have your payment information over here on the right. Now there is one little button that I didn't go over just yet. That is schedule launch for a later date. So if you've created these postcards, but you're not ready to mail them out just yet, you can schedule them. You'll select the date that you want that to be scheduled. Now that schedule date is when processing begins. Okay. So not when they start to go into the mail system, not when they're delivered. That is when processing starts. So when you are scheduling those out, just keep that in mind to make sure they're going to end up in those mailboxes when you would like them to. There is not an option for absentee owners. I haven't seen that available in here. Um, You can, like I was showing you, you can do single family and and multifamily. It's not condo specific. It's either single family or residential, or I'm sorry, single family or multifamily. And you can do either or both. The quantity is what you set, so you'll either determine how many you want to send or how much you want to spend. And when you're setting up your targeting, you want to just make sure that that doesn't change if you're drawing on the map. So the only time the houses I was sending to went up was when I actually circled the map, because it was a much larger area than what my cards were for. I hope those answered those questions. If there are any more questions, drop those in the chat and we will come back to them. Um, the next thing I want to show you guys really quickly is how to use a custom postcard. So for this one, I'm just going to jump into designs and we're going to do create. I'm going to do print. And we'll give this just a second. Now, once we're in here, I'm just going to do an invite just to keep it simple. We're going to take a look at sending it to our database this time. So let's say we have an event going on for our clients. We want to invite them. You can sort these by just the type that you're looking for. So I'm looking for a postcard. You'll see this is a 6x4. So just keep that in mind if you're looking for a different size. You can, of course, create postcards externally in Canva or another platform. I'm just doing this one because it's in here. I'm not even going to get too fancy with this. I'm just going to update a couple of things. Let's just change this to say client event. Never type when I'm teaching. We can leave it as April. Maybe we're scheduling this out. And I'm just going to delete this box. Now we're going to go to our second page. Now this is one thing I want to mention when we are doing this. When you're creating your template here, you want to make sure you're leaving plenty of space on your card for this information over here. Once you add the design to the postcard, this can't be manually edited within the direct mailer. You would have to keep coming back to your design and editing that in here to make sure it's not overlapping, nothing's getting cut off. So just keep that in mind. I'm just going to delete this to make sure this whole side is empty, just to make sure. We are going to just add client event again. Here, I'm going to add a QR code. Let's say we want an RSVP QR code. Again, for QR codes, you want to add those directly to the design. It won't be available when we go into the direct mailer section. You could add your photo there too. We're going to leave the phone number alone and support. and then download my app. I'm going to move this up and we're going to change this to say RSVP here. And then I'm going to make this just a tiny bit smaller just to make sure it's not too far over. And then what we're going to do is swap our logo. We'll use SLM. And I'm going to add just a quick photo here. Oh, here we go. This one. There we go. All right, so now we have our postcard. We have front and back ready to go. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to download this. I'm going to leave it as PDF standard. You can do PDF for printing. Actually, I'm going to make this a JPEG. The reason I'm going to make it a JPEG or PNG is because we're going to have to resize this. So one thing I like to point out is even though we are working in Command for both designs and direct mailers, currently, when you are creating designs, you are using WeBrand. When you are creating direct mailers, you are using Real Mailers. So though they are both in Command, they are technically two separate platforms, and the sizing does not line up exactly the right way. So anytime you're creating a design in Command, you're generally going to have to resize it. So downloading it as a PDF is not really going to matter in this case because I'm going to have to resize it either way. So what I'm going to do is open my folder here, and you guys can't see that currently, but that's okay. I'm just downloading my folder and getting those images ready to go. And what I want to do next is there's a couple of ways that you can resize this. We like to use Resizer, I think is Image Resizer. This will allow you to pull in your image and just quickly resize it. So if we come in here and we grab my two images, I'm going to do one at a time. So now we have our image here. Now I'm going to go back to campaigns because it's going to give me the exact sizing that I need so that I can make sure when I upload it, I don't run into any issues. So we'll do custom 227. I'm going to do event awareness for this one. I want to show you guys the difference. So as you can see, it doesn't prompt me to select a listing this time because it's a different goal. You can still come in and select a listing. You can definitely do that. But I don't need to for this specific one because we are uploading a custom. So this is what I meant. You can find those sizes, which makes it super easy. Now that was a 4x6 card, so it's probably going to stretch or resize the best if I keep it a 4x6 card. So what I'm going to do is this sizing right here, and I never remember, so I'm going to paste it so I can see. I want to unlock the ratio because otherwise it may not size exactly the same way. My width, I want to be 1875. My height, I want it to be 1275. And then we're going to go ahead and hit resize image. Now, once it does that, let it process. And now we're going to download. And I'm going to come back. Now I can go ahead and pull in my front. So I'm just going to grab that image. And there it is right there. Let's go ahead and do the back side as well. So if I have another image, this time I'm going to select the back of my postcard. And we're going to do the same thing. Need to unlock, and then we're going to do 1875, 1275, and resize. And we're going to download again. And then I'm going to come in here and find my photo, add that, and now I can view the back as well. So again, plenty of white space over here. I'll show you why that's important when we get to the next section. Same thing from here. We're doing all of the market center details. It's going to be the same from here. Now, the targeting is not set. So this is where you could decide if you want to farm a specific area, if this was for that specific thing that you're creating this for. However, since this is a client event, I probably want to send this to my database. So from there, I would select target my database and add contacts. This will allow me to search by tags. I can find them that way. Let's see, I think I usually have a class demo tag. So we could then pull in these people and send them postcards. Now, it will only let you pull in if they have a primary address or mailing address for your contact card. So you cannot mail someone that you just have a phone number or email for. Obviously, you're sending mail to their home. You need an address. So at this point, we could select those contacts. We could go ahead and add to campaign. You'll see it's going to show each of those contacts right here. In this case, I am sending 6 people a direct mailer. You can send as little as 1 card to someone. So if you just want to use this to send out postcards for birthdays, you could create a birthday postcard and send those out, a week or so before their birthday. So you do not have to do this in bulk. It can be used for 1 postcard at a time if that is what you're looking for. From here, we're going to hit save. Again, 6 postcards. Our total is a whole $4.62. Now, when you're using the 4x6 card, it only has first class as an option. So just like I said, some will have 2. I think this might be the only one that has just 1. And from there, we're going to hit save. Now we're going to do preview and payment again. Do you want to continue? I hope no one else is being kicked out and put back in. I haven't seen that too much. So hopefully not. Yes, the recording will be on our YouTube. I'll drop the YouTube link in the chat again though for you guys. All right, you guys, so now we can view our postcard again. As you can see, we have view larger. I know I get questions when we were taking a look at uploading those photos, you could kind of see a black line. Those are not actually on the postcard when you send them. And then this is that spacing that was super important when you're creating your own template. You cannot adjust this. So you just want to make sure your content is not in the way of that. Okay. So pay close attention to that. Make sure you're not cut off. From there, it's the same process. Postcards, how many, how much, all of that good stuff included. Total processing is the same. You can then schedule for a later date or send it out right away. All right. So once those are either saved or we have processed them, they'll show in here. That status will change. I know it's taken a minute to load, but that status will change from, draft to processing to mailed, etc., based on where it is in that process. Okay. You guys, that is our class for today. I know we got done a little bit early. Perfect, because we can go through some questions. So if you guys have questions, please drop those in the chat. Even if they are not necessarily related to what we covered today, I am here to answer any questions you guys have. If you don't have questions, feel free to hop off. That is totally cool with me too. It will not hurt my feelings. And thank you for coming today. Hope this was helpful. I'm gonna go ahead and stop record.